So what's today's discussion? I think Nanners had this idea.
Yes,
Well, why don't we just start off reintroducing ourselves? It's been a while. I think people may have forgotten.
Right, you're right. It has been. Yeah.
So
go away.
So I'm Mash the Stampede or Nanners, and I'm joining these guys on the podcast again.
Okay. My name's FinalHarps and a podcast, and we have no direction, but we're gonna be going.
I mean, hey, this is good, but also I am Greatest Gamer, the greatest of gamers, coming at you with the other podcast we got. As you see, we're just gonna free flow this or see what's gotten on our minds, but you know, that's the nice thing to roll with this. Welcome
What's up,
everybody.
Jay Cosplay?
Oh, so let me fix the camera a bit. There we go.
So, okay. You brought up a good point in chat 5 minutes ago, literally, that we should talk about what we've been playing since 2020 has started. So, okay, who wants to start first?
Can I start?
No.
Yeah, go for it.
You're grounded.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Everybody who knows anything, there have been so many games coming out in just 2 months. Look at this. Look at this. This is half.
That's right.
Like, jeez, Doom, Final Fantasy, Animal Crossing. Like, it's like I made a video about it. That's why I will only go a bit. Check out my channel. It's like my thoughts on some of the popular games like Resident Evil, but it's just so much. Like, I'll just start it off with there, and you guys take it from what your opinion you think is of all these games being released at such a small point, which is actually insane.
Yeah, it's good because like if you look back at 2019. There were good games in 2019, but I honestly felt like it was kind of a lackluster
I agree.
year for the most part. So we definitely had a good, strong showing for strong start for 2019. Unfortunately, because of what happened with the pandemic situation, we are probably going to take a big hit to that, and it'll slow down quite a bit. A lot of games are getting pushed back. Cyberpunk got pushed back, but that was before the pandemic. A couple other games got pushed. So yeah, I mean we'll probably see a little bit of a slowdown with that, but still, like, yeah, February, January, good games. March has a bunch of good games. April's had a bunch of good games. So, I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see what else is coming up, and we will eventually look like we'll do at the end of the show like a little. We'll take a peek at the calendar to see what's coming up. What I've actually been playing, because that was the point of this question, was I've been playing some Switch games. My buddy BioZ Venom hooked me up with a Nintendo Switch, and I got a crap ton of games. I already had a few of them like bought, but one of the new ones that came out was Rune Factory 4 Special, which is a port of the 3DS game. And yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like, it's such a good game. I'm insanely addicted to it, and I can't wait for Rune Factory 5 to come out. Just by playing this game has been so much fun.
Awesome.
But
The major game I started playing was Final Fantasy VII Remake. The first major game I actually did play was Resident Evil 3, but I'm not as hooked at it as I would be on Final Fantasy VII Remake because it's just so in-depth. So in-depth. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's a lot of story involved in it that if you're playing it once, you will not understand it all. You have to like go back and replay it to fully understand what's going on. And it brings in a lot of factors from other Final Fantasy VII stuff together that people just don't realize unless they're a hardcore fan of the whole series.
Yeah. Is there anything that you guys want to play from 2020 that you didn't get to just yet?
for me, it'd have to be Final Fantasies because, like, there's a reason I took a break. Again, look at this. Well, do I look like I have the money to add another game? And these are special editions. These are all special editions.
Right, okay. For me, it would be Nioh 2. I didn't play the first one, but it's my kind of game. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, that's my kind of game, but with time restraints and just trying to, like, keep up with everything, I mean, it's so hard. Like, having this time off now, it still is hard to keep up with everything. It's like,
No, he's right actually, because he knows that that's one of the games I definitely was excited for this year. And I even told him like, nah, bro, even if you're good, I'm over leveled in an RPG. I'm 40 hours in. I'm halfway through this game. This game takes a lot of time. I'm grinding it right now. That's how you know this game's good too. Like, I'm grinding it as we speak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I missed the chance to get it because when it came out, I still didn't have a Switch, but I wanted to get Animal Crossing because it was like overnight everybody was playing it. So many people are streaming this game that it quickly became like one of the top, I don't know, whatever, like top 10 games to be streamed on Twitch.
What's Animal Crossing?
Currently? Animal Crossing New Horizon, the one that just came out on Switch.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, how do you not know?
Like
What's
that
up?
Look over like, wait, what?
Yeah, Chad, you saw my face.
Yeah,
This man can't be serious.
I'm like, you know what it is. But yeah, I wanted to get into it because it actually looks like it's a pretty chilled game. It looks fun, and there's a decent multiplayer in it too. Like, you can actually just go hang out with people.
Oh, you know what? There are some things I want to bring up now that you bring Animal Crossing. It's two things, and then I want to correlate right to Animal Crossing. Is what did you guys think about the Doom and Animal Crossing come out on the same day, and all the memes that came out? Because I think they're godlike. The Doom Horizons.
That was perfect. That was like really good for the PR team and the marketing teams for both of those games, you know.
And I think the Doom director said it speaks to volumes that how very different these two games are. Yet the community is like so together, and I agree because imagine me playing Doom, rough, and then you see me come in. I'd like one copy of Animal Crossing, please. And it's true. Like it's true. We're not just all brain dead who want to play one thing or this. Like, nah, bro. Like, we expand our horizons. Weird. I just realized that's the name of the game too. And dude, yeah, I even went to my GameStop, bro.
No pun intended.
And I saw the stand, and I saw Animal Crossing, and I was like, I bet. I turned around, there was Doom right around the corner. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Like, I was like, this is great.
I'm really curious to see like if we ever get to see anything like that again with another couple of games. That would be really cool.
True.
Oh, we will. It's gonna take time. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I usually don't go back and want to play freaking games again, but Resident Evil 3, as you show right now, is one of them. And Final Fantasy 7, I actually do want to go back and play, but a lot of people have been asking me to play multiplayers with them. So it's like, God damn it. My son's like, Apex. I'm like, no, I hate Apex. But then I started playing Warzone with him, and we're like, he's actually thinking about, and he's not thinking about, but he's actually playing it, and he actually enjoyed it. So it's a nice change up.
That's good. No.
But from here forth, how about everything getting delayed now, and we might not be able to see a PS5 or even the Xbox until like the following year.
No. Yeah, I mean, we may have been able to see it this year at E3, very likely. The rumors started like January, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean, since everything got delayed, E3 got canceled. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna see either PS5 an announcement next E3 or maybe, even later. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's basically been confirmed. Like, all this info about it keeps coming out.
Well, the PS5 is confirmed, but when we're going to get it is what probably got delayed. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the manufacturing and most of their factories are in China.
And I mean, you go to the store now, you still can't find toilet paper, and you still, like, there's some shelves that are just empty. It's like, how are you still so empty? But then you think about everyone's at home, they don't have to go out to eat.
I realized something about that though also. A lot of people will do orders, like they'll do Instacart or some kind of Fresh Direct or something like that. So the stores probably have an uptick in the amount of orders from that. So they're also, why are you going to restock the shelves if somebody's going to have to then take that and then ship it to them? If you're going to have to do that, you might as well just like keep it back in inventory and just have it ready for the person that comes to pick it up or whatever.
That makes that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Are there any fighting games coming out this year? I have no clue. Aha!
Oh, GG. But we'll get to that. I was gonna say, the other thing, I don't know what you guys were thinking about, like that GameStop was so insistent on staying open even though this, like, if you guys notice, there's been a lot of gaming news due to the games releasing, and even like the whole, like PlayStation's probably getting delayed, so is Xbox, and GameStop refusing to close down. Mine's even the one I was closing, that's closing on mine. I got their TV. I don't think I could show it.
They're closed already.
Yeah, I got the TV last minute, but like, what was like, that was like, I don't know. How do you guys think you'll ever shop at GameStop? Because I heard some people were so upset about that they will refuse to even buy from GameStop anymore, just because of the fact they refuse to close until the government forced them.
Yeah. It's really weird though, if you think about recent events before the pandemic, they just got Reggie, and people were like, "Yo, Reggie's gonna fix GameStop. He's gonna make it like a great company." And then, and then this shit happened, and yeah, now everyone hates GameStop again. It's weird,
dude. It is.
Since my GameStop is closed, say as for yours too, greatest. No, that's the only reason. I only went there because I knew the people. I liked the environment. I liked the people. So since they closed the one out by us, because it's not making enough money, but yet they keep the one in a different spot that's much smaller and crappy neighborhood open, and tell everyone to go to that one. I'm like, no one's gonna go there.
See, the problem, GameStop doesn't understand their demographic, bro. Like, they really don't.
Yeah,
they think, just because it's a highway, the old ones will move to the new one. No, dude, it doesn't work.
It is convenient because I could just hop off the highway, go there, and leave. But that's not why I go to a GameStop. I went to a GameStop to BS with the people there and have a great connection and talk to people. Like, everyone there knew me by name. I go there, I know they'll know me by name eventually, but it's so, like, that one in particular is so crowded. You go from like this huge store to this like store that's a quarter the size.
Not only that, like, that environment, like, it's funny because GameStop's trying to take the direction to become more of a place for people to chill and everything. So this is a very counterintuitive decision. Yeah, but my biggest reason I don't want like the new one outside, like, dude, literally my house is right across from it. So, and I would still rather go to the old one. It's just because, like I said, forget that it's small, forget it's convenient. It's like these people don't look like they even want to be there. Like, you just want to get your stuff and get out.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think I'm still gonna shop at GameStop like occasionally. I would rather not because I don't like GameStop, but unfortunately, like, you don't have too many options. I could go to Target, I could go to Best Buy. I'll probably go to Best Buy for a lot of these, but what I really want is a bunch of mom and pop shops, like local gaming stores. The problem with that though is, and I've talked to some people that work in that, like, they own their own stores, is that there's no money in selling new games, so it's not worth it for them to buy a new game and then sell it to somebody, even though they would like to. It's not a good business move. So you will not see that with the local stores usually, not always. We do have a really cool store here. Shout outs to Video Games New York. They actually sold me one of that big Zelda Majora's Mask poster in the back.
Nice.
They do like everything. Their store is like a little video game museum, but they're like the best known. They're like the most well-known mom and pop shop game store in the city. So
BioVenom brings up a really good point. How do you compete with digital games though? And I have to agree, because for me, I buy digitally because I have a 11-year-old son. So when I buy a game, I can share my one copy I bought with him. So that way I technically am buying 2 copies for one. And it's hard to complete. That's why I stopped buying physical copies unless it was like a big collector's edition, like I got over here and stuff, and like what Greatest is showing. Like, unless it's something like that, there's no there's no real point. Like, and it's all just like for collectors, and it, in a sense, it's gonna collect dust. And then, like, for me, I thought it more of an inconvenience because I got to go switch the disc. I got to do that. Yeah, the only problem is I might have to delete a game and re-download if I want to play it again, but it still is in my virtual library forever. Unless your account gets banned.
See, that's it. To further piggyback off him, everything he proves is right. Like, even for me, I'm a physical copy guy. Like, I like them because of the collecting. And some people will point out, like, oh, what if they ever... Bro, let's be realistic. Xbox, Sony, and Steam are not going down anytime soon. Your digital copies are going to be safe. And again, when you buy one copy of Titanfall digitally, you get 2. You can play it with your brother or whoever you want if you have two PS4s. Like, logically, it doesn't make as much sense. And unless you're buying special editions. And see, all of these are like single player. There's no real incentive for digital. Like, these would be the exception.
Yep.
And I think, and not only that, the biggest reason why I hold, like, say, even if you're from a lower income, for PS3 era, you get the option of install or not install. But now all of them install, so it's the same memory. There's literally no difference. Like, the difference is non-existent almost. It's basically all purely for collectors at this point. And even that, I have cabinets. Like, look at these things. They don't hold all my games. People don't have the money or room space to have that much room to store all these games.
Right? Like, okay, for example, I bought the Darksiders 3 Apocalypse Edition, and it came with 4 huge ass figures, right? And you can see them over here. And that wall poster, I have no room but this little section to really show off my stuff. And I want to buy more, but I'm like, I have nowhere to put it.
Right.
Like, it's nowadays, like, as getting more into the digital age, like, you don't really buy houses for space anymore. You buy, like, this is totally different, kind of off topic, but same relative point. You buy houses just enough to where it sustains what you need. Like, for me, like, I just need one room that can let me do what I need to do. That's it. Like, the rest of the house can be whatever. I have a sleeping quarter and something to cook. I'm good.
You don't need a backyard?
No, I don't. Like,
oh, what about you, Mashers? Me and him didn't be going on. What about you?
Yeah, what about you, Mash?
No, honestly, I was thinking of, I agree with what you guys are saying, and it kind of, I didn't even think about that, how you're absolutely right. As long as the digital platforms are still up, you have the game, you're safe, you're good. You really don't need to get it physical. At this point, it's like, you're just doing it out of habit. And I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, like, why go to the store if you could just buy it from home, and you could share with someone, and you could also access it across different devices easier and whatnot. Going to the store is like an archaic thing we cave people used to do,
No, you're not wrong. Because even another thing I want to notice, like, say these games, right? These physical, they're one player, right? You want to get a copy. Even then, they have competition. Walmart, Best Buy, like, and even then they offer shipping. Again, that caveman thing is still there.
Shipping half the time. Unless you're asking for it on day of a release, you can get that stuff free shipping date, like, the next day.
Like, it's funny because the other thing I wanted to mention about these games that relates to this too, all of these were bought on Best Buy. These steel cases came with them for free as a bonus. GameStop is really lacking in, like, if your gimmick is to buy physical copies, get people in your store, make sure you have an incentive. Best Buy, I don't know how. Every new game, somehow a steel booklet. So I highly recommend anyone who wants a physical copy, even if you don't have to buy the special edition, they include the steel booklet for free. Guaranteed if you pre-order.
Nice. I had no idea.
I didn't know.
Are you talking about a digital bio, Venom? When you buy digital, you get, like, Gears something for free or Xbox Live Pass for free. I mean, if it is digital, then yeah. But there's no, like, and you think about it, even through a business perspective, why am I going to spend extra money to get a digital? Okay, yeah, exactly. So why am I going to spend extra money to make this case, get a production line for this case, get an artist to make this case, like, special, like those collector's editions, you get, like, all these extra things, like, done to pay people to do, and my game flops. Now I'm in the hole a lot more when I could have been a lot less if I'd even bother with this collector's edition.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
You know what's crazy? In this era too, I mean, PS3 360 had it, but it was small. But we live in an era too, because, like, for indie developers, all of that is mega true to the point where they're just digital exclusives. And they're indie games. Let's be honest. You have to be lucky, like Minecraft, to become like an explosion.
Like, even for example, when you're buying, like, a collector's edition, I could see the collector's edition, the game being digital. Like, you don't even have to sell the game, but you're buying the digital copy, whatever extra comes with the digital, and then, like, figurines or whatever you, like, novelty you got from it. I could see that. I could see businesses moving towards that direction, so they don't have to pay for the disc company, the case company, and the other company to be able to produce these collector's editions, and they could produce a better quality collector's edition, because that costs money right there. might be minuscule compared to the rest, but that's still every little thing you see that's being made or produced, like physically, you had to pay someone to do. Like it's I don't know. I don't even know where this conversation's going.
No, I was about to say
it's a valid point. It's a valid point. But then again, I think now we see that. I mean, now we see that like digital is king at this point because you could go to a store. Many of them are still open. Many GameStops are still open, or were open, but it's kind of risky right now. So I've been buying all of my games on digital. I kind of wanted to get Final Fantasy like a collector's edition, but I did end up getting it digital, which is great. I could split it with my friend. We're account sharing, so I got to do that. I bought a crap ton of other games as well. I got like LA Noire, PS4 digital. I got, as I said, the Rune Factory game. That was all digital. I think for like the next month or so, however long this takes, like I'm just going to be doing digital games in the meantime.
Yep. Right. There's no reason to go outside unless you're getting food from the store. Like there's legit no reason and to get gas for your car at the gas station.
Yeah. One thing I think there's so many, it's crazy. You don't think about it until you hear the talking, but there's an oversight that I noticed is that what also further pushes it. Because again, okay, I go to Best Buy, right? Okay, how many single player games really are there, or even co-op? You know, a lot of games are extremely multiplayer focused, especially in the US. Physical sales excel in Japan, but here in the US, not as much. And I don't think GameStop's located in Japan.
And you were there before the whole crisis.
Right. You know, I got lucky, and it was. You almost
got stuck there.
Jeez.
Dude, imagine if you got stuck there.
I wouldn't mind.
Right. Because wouldn't have
I looked it up. There's no GameStop in Japan.
Interesting.
So they would do a lot better over there, actually. But moving on to what you said, like any Cyberpunk getting delayed, all the games have slowed down. But you're talking about GG, right? I mean, I know Masters you mainly, you know, low key, and it was Virtua Fighter. You said, right, that you played.
Yeah, I'm not that heavy into fighting games, but yeah, I mean, I love Virtua Fighter, DOA, some Tekken. I think Tekken's fun, and like occasionally like some, 2D fighting games as well.
Nah, because the biggest reason why this is a big deal for GG, for those of you who don't know, like as we all know, lag is one of the most annoying things on earth, regardless if you're playing a shooter or a fighting game. And Guilty Gear is like, especially in Japan, it's long story short, is a mindset they'd have if it wasn't made in Japan, we're not using it. And an American company, Iron Phoenix, I believe it was called. Regardless, they made Killer Instinct and did the port for Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And this thing is called GGPO. And basically, it's better. Everything runs off what's called delay-based netcode, even like your shooters and everything. So, the further you are, there is a delay. What GGPO does, in layman's terms, which we can all agree is good, it basically doubles the frame rate of the game, theoretically. So when you press a button, if you press it too early or there's a delay, the system still has that button and it'll press it later on as if you were playing offline almost. Wow. And the fact that a Japanese company is listening is good, and now it's getting more publicity, because up until then only that company used it. Iron Galaxy, that's the name. So I think this is good for not only just fighting games, the fact that people were bitching about this, but all games. I think GGPO, I mean, for shooters, I think it'd be different because the biggest problem shooters have is they're not locked. For those who don't know, fighting games have a locked frame rate, and GGPO works for the most part. Like, you have to build it around that. But I think with that, like, if you just have like the theoretical hertz, that's what it is. Like, the game's not running, but the update of your buttons are updated as if it was double frame rate. And I think that method could still be used for shooters. So imagine if you're playing Battlefield, especially like consoles, we all are stuck at 60, even in shooters. Imagine if theoretically, even online, you're playing at 120, lag becomes a lot less annoying. And I think that's why I think people should care about GG, even if you don't care about fighting games, to further just, so you guys know.
Speaking of, did GG awesome. Get delayed? That's what I was curious about. It did? Okay.
Yeah, it's because of the feedback.
Yeah, but Swasage actually made a valid point. When I was younger growing up, games were about $60, where back then that was a lot of money. Nowadays, that's not a lot of money, but everyone is complaining, why are games so expensive? We don't get the full game. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, but honestly, you're paying $60 for one game that's going to last you for hours. is going to last you a long time. Comparing it to how long it takes to make a game, it takes years to make a game in a whole production studio. Like, how are you complaining about that? Oh, these people putting out all this digital content. I was like, okay, I understand that, but companies have to stay in business somehow. Why do you think Apex is free? Because all the packs you can buy. Why do you think this game's free? Because you can buy stuff in the games, in-game currency. That's what keeps the game alive that you like playing. Some games are good at it, some games are not. Like Apex, okay, you could get points to be able to unlock a legend, but you can't buy the cosmetic stuff unless you get Apex things, and you do that every 2 levels. Or you could buy them. I mean, it's just
like a different model. It's like a different business model. And
yeah.
Some people work better with one. The old style was you pay $60, you have everything here, and then this is what you got.
Yeah.
But the new style is that you can keep supporting us by buying all this DLC, and then we'll just like update it, we'll put new stuff into it. Like Fortnite, I don't really care much for Fortnite, but it's still pretty relevant.
It's very relevant still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of, I actually linked 2 videos that are really good for anyone's interested about why the games cost 60 and all this other stuff. And they're right. It's because inflation. They didn't just for inflation. Long story short is, again, because I'm a nerd, and companies didn't want to raise it past 60 because they're like, people will instantly, and they were right, because people are already bitching about $60 games. They're like, oh, people won't even buy our games, you know? And they were right. But at the same time, I will say, price is actually subjective, because we're in the free market when we really think about this. What's stopping them from, say, imagine if Resident Evil was $40. Do you think it would sell more? Actually, probably, but it would just compensate. So it's really up to the company.
Yeah, so like if they sell a game for $40 and they only sell half more, then there's no difference in what they would have made. It's just now they have to sell even more to keep on top or find. See, like having cosmetic items in a game where you have to buy them because the game is free and you could buy them directly is great. It's kind of like a gacha game, but at the same point, it's not, because you're choosing what to buy. Like, I wish like games like that you could choose exactly what you want to buy for a set price, which some games do that, but you have to wait for a particular time to be able to do it or luck out in a pack. But anyway, with normal games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, they don't do that. And they spend millions and millions of dollars making a game of that production. And if you play, like when you finally beat and play Final Fantasy 7, and then go back and watch a video I tag you in, Nanners, you'll be like, whoa, holy crap, they did all this and added this in, and you have to replay it to understand everything. It's insane.
If I could cut in real quick. So I'm at chapter 17, which is 2 chapters or 1 chapter away. About 2 chapters left in the game.
Okay.
I'm almost at the end. Guess how long my save file is? Like how many hours I collect in the game?
Like 38, 40?
20. It's
Really?
not even 20. No, it's like 19 and 45.
What'd you do? Skip all the side quests?
I did one single side quest.
That's why. Okay.
And that's because I honestly thought it was I thought you had to do it, or I think at that point the game makes you do it just to introduce the concept of side quests versus the story quest. And then I'm like, I got to get to the good stuff, so I just skipped all the side content, and I went all the main story.
You missed some really good dialogue then. You missed some really good dialogue, but
I know it's like different styles. Like to me, I wanted more of I just wanted more of like the original stuff, and I wanted to just get through it as fast as I can.
Yeah, Violet, that's absolutely correct on that. Yes. But like going back to that game in particular, not by the game itself, but you know how huge the game is, even though it feels small because it is like hallway simulator. It really is, but you still can explore like all the areas at one point. You can go back, but the vastness of how the world is alive and all that takes time, money. They didn't have to do that. When you're walking around the town, they didn't have to say like different things at different parts in the game. And every single person says something different when you bump into them. Like, who does that? Like, who really sits there and spends time? All right, what's this group going to say? What is this group going to say? What conversation are these poo-poos people are going to say? I can't speak English. But, and that's the thing, like, games like that costs a lot of money. And my point is, like, if Final Fantasy VII Remake starts coming out with, like, little things like, hey, you can buy this to do more battles, or buy this to do this. it would be understandable to keep the game sustained more. But I don't know. I just think a lot of people are complaining about prices of stuff and just they don't need to. And that's the thing. Like, I was scrolling through Facebook, like, why is Final Fantasy VII Remake $60 for just being a part 1? Like,
it is a hard concept to wrap your head around. If you think about it, because it's kind of interesting. Like back in the day, the game was so massive and so expansive that they couldn't fit it on one disc, so they gave you additional discs with the game that was already included. Granted, I don't remember what the price of it was back then, if it was more or less, but now it's like we've taken what I believe is the first 6 hours. That's where I read was like the first 6 hours of the game, and this is the full game like that we're giving out right now, and then we're gonna get to the next part, and then the next part, or
well, the thing is, they like when they were originally making the game, they wanted it like this. They just did not have the capabilities. Their imagining was on this level, but they could not execute it, so they executed how they could with the hardware that they had. That's what they said in some interviews. So,
wait, what do you mean they wanted it this way? Multiple discs or like
no, not multiple discs. Like, you know how expansive and the ideas they had, like with the story and everything, and it's just they wanted to make the original Midgar bigger than what it was, but they couldn't originally because of limitations of the hardware. And like their big image was this image that they had now. Of course, there's more added on, but they originally wanted something like that. The point being, like, back to really on track, is that game costed millions to make. And if a company says, hey, we're releasing this cloud costume or Tifa, like, just stickers right here type costume, you pay $20 and get it. Yeah, well, here you go. I wouldn't hate them for it.
Right. See, no, and I want to further back that up because remember how we brought like, oh, they make it cheaper. Here's a big example of things that are different. It's Resident Evil, a fighting game, and Neo. Neo has the lowest budget, and so does a fighting game. But let's be honest, even if they're lower, do we really see people who don't play fighting games just pick up Grand Blue? No. Neo, it's basically Dark Souls. No one's gonna pick that up. The incentive is not there to spend the money. Final Fantasy, it's there, but at the same time, let's be honest, is a guy who played Call of Duty is gonna pick up Final Fantasy? No. You know, and this game, it's same. I think it should be $40. You know, it shouldn't have been $60. But Capcom knows people are going to buy it. But are people who normally play Call of Duty going to pick it up? Maybe, and that's why they spent more budget on. Like, this one actually has the highest budget. Final Fantasy overtakes it. And I was even looking, like, the numbers correlate. Like, the companies know what they're doing. They know their audience, and they have a good estimate. They have a buffer zone if they think new people trying to come in. And here's the biggest example, why I said the free market. The price can be whatever it's want, because the Grand Theft Auto is one of the most expensive games made to this day. And let's not count the dumb DLC, and because let's talk about when Grand Theft Auto 5 was good, and it was when it was just on PS3. You paid $60, yet they spent billions, literally billions, I think, or something like that. But you can see, we all know it was gonna sell. We know. Your Final Fantasy guy, he'll play Grand Theft Auto. Fighting game guy, he'll play Grand Theft Auto. All of us will play Grand Theft Auto. That's why they can invest money into it. And plus, Resident Evil and Final Fantasy, why they can spend more money, they already have advertisement. Did you guys see any ads for this? Did you guys see any ads for Neo? No. Part in the legacy, too. That's why Final Fantasy, let's spend money, but we know we won't get as much, but our fans will be upset. We have to please our fans. And that's the thing. That's what this is. When you pay for DLC, the reality is they have no choice. It's because we're the only ones playing, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Grand Blue's helping. Luckily, this game is helping and bringing new people. I mean, me personally, I don't like it, but that's the point. It's looking the game's credibility, and the company who has it, Square Enix and Capcom, they have departments for marketing. They can take these risks, but even then, they know their audience. They've been around for years. They're definitely not done. They're doing it pretty well. And again, that's why sometimes like Battlefront, like if we want to be real, Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy are basically like tech demos, if you would, but you can play them for a while. So you're getting what you paid for. Like, you already played Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 3, they're still there. There's nothing stopping you from playing them. You are just a fan, and you want to put in money, and like, I'm here giving you $60, even though this game is short as hell. But we know you put money, and I like that it looks nice. Like, I don't feel ripped off though. I do think it's 40, but I love it. Like, this game is like I already platinumed it. So I think in the end, if the fan is content with what they're given, even if it's not perfect, I don't think this is perfect. I'll be honest. But I'm like, I appreciate all they did. If I don't feel like I'm ripped off. That's what matters. It doesn't matter if it is or isn't. It's, do you feel like it? And that's what gives something value.
The only thing about Resident Evil that got me with how comparing the price range, it was short for what it was, but then if you look at the graphic, but this is where like my mindset comes to play, where I look at everything as a whole. You look at the graphics. The graphics are smooth as hell. The gameplay, it's a little wonky, but there's not.
That's the design.
It's Resident Evil. That's how the game is supposed to be played. So that makes sense. The cutscenes were great. They're about an hour and a half long, almost 2 hours, right? Yeah, almost 2 hours. Because I made a YouTube video on those, and it's so it's good. It's just people wanted more because once they beat it, not too many people nowadays go back and rebeat their games. I mean, I went back, I played it a few times because I do enjoy it, but then Final Fantasy came out a week later, and it's like, crap.
Yeah, but even then, when you think about it, that's the strength, because it's so short. You could replay it. Exactly.
It only takes an hour and a half. Like, if you're really good at it, it only will take about an hour and 40 minutes to 2.5 hours to beat. Right? So, I mean, it's an easy game. Now, if you Final Fantasy, it's like, man, when I got to... Yeah, but still, when I got to where you were at, Nanners, I thought I was almost done. Because you're in the tower, you're in the tower now, right?
I'm in Shinra's HQ.
Yeah. The tower, the HQ. Yeah, you're in the HQ. That was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Those last 2 chapters were insanely long for me. It just felt it didn't drag for me. It just is like, wow, there is so much more going on. What the fuck is going on?
I think that's actually important. Something that just real quick, that these games, like even Neo, they're long and everything, but they don't drag, so it doesn't feel like they're fillering. So it's like definitely. And
I will not say that the quest did kind of feel like filler, but they're side quests. But at the same point, it wrapped around the main story. If you actually watch it, somehow it tied in somewhere, or it gives you a Easter egg from the original game or to the next part. If you played the original game, it's very interesting.
And you know what's crazy too? Like you mentioned, the graphics further strengthening. Grand Blue and Neo, like they're nice, but like they're just not Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. Like you look at those games, and you not only that, you could tell. Listen to your PS4. See how loud. It's loud. It's loud with Neo, but only in tough scenes.
You look over.
Because here's the thing. Neo runs at 60. Final Fantasy and Resident Evil I don't think do, but again, that's because that game has more effort put into it than graphical effort. And it's like 1080p, and I have a Pro, but on Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy, I know it's like 1440p, and it looks clean. But here's the thing. Not only does it look clean, bruh, look at, like literally, like they look gorgeous. Resident Evil 3 has blood physics, and it got nerfed too. Like Resident Evil 3 on PC, oh my, I can only imagine Final Fantasy. And that's the other thing, it's spending time optimizing.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, it has a lot of like texturing not there, but it makes sense because it would be too much for the game to handle at the same time.
Right. But again, further proving the point of why things are the way they are. This game is it's literally artwork. It's drawn. That's less expensive than having to do all, because there's stuff drawn in Final Fantasy too. But
yeah, okay.
But regardless, all these games, I think they're a lot of these are sequels, and they're just amazing. Like Neo 2 and Doom 2, like these games are already, some could say, perfect, yet they managed to up themselves. And another thing I want to mention is, you guys, just to further prove why this is different, so people be like, whatever, because of the mic. Sorry. So another thing just to point is that you guys notice we're talking about just Japanese games. None of these are American. Japanese game master race, bro. And we're not talking about no Call of Duty in here, but that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Call of Duty. FinalHarps, haven't you been playing Call of Duty?
Yes. Warzone's actually fun. No, like, those are very valid points. Like, and I think, like, going back to, like, kind of like the digital to now. Oh, thank you for the host, Google. I don't think you were in here when I was tagging you. And
yeah, big thanks, man.
A lot of people don't understand these games cost a lot more money than what you're spending. Honestly, games now should cost $120 considering how much inflation has gone up.
True.
Like for a normal budget game like a AAA title, that should be $120. As ridiculous as that sounds, but like how much time and production it takes to make it. I mean, yeah. Like also with movies, they should be a higher price range, but they've been $20 for what? Years? I mean,
but again, at the same time, like I said, like for those guys, they can spend the budget, and the reality is this: it's just the way our economy is. The fact that the dollar is lowering, it also means that poverty is growing. So
yeah,
and so we honestly do, like he's right. When we're paying $60, there's a reason they lock some stuff. Like that's why with these Japanese companies, it's like they're smart, like they're being honest. That's our problem is not with them charging more and everything. Like it's fair. Like if you look at it, like the Fallout DLC, when American games were still good, you're like, yeah, that I would pay $20. That's almost a game in itself. That's worth $20. Like if you can look at that purchase and be like, that's fair, or like, oh, it's optional, like skins and stuff. Like it's not forcing your hand. And it's like you can't complain really.
Yeah,
like, we're paying $60 and they spend literally millions, but they know they're going to get their money. So we can't say like, oh, 120 would be pushing it because they know they'll sell, but the other reason they sell is because they're lower. Like, then that's what we got to realize. DLC is just the norm, just purely because of the economy. That's all it is. They got to make their money at the end of the day. Because here's the thing. If we don't support them, that's the other thing, is support with your money. We don't support them, they won't be around anymore. Just look at Konami. Like the reality is why they're there now is like the money for them is in gambling and all this other stuff more than gaming. And let's be real, American games are practically gambling. That's when I have a problem. So until it becomes loot boxes, I don't complain about DLC. Well,
also look back at, we were talking about GameStop earlier. I mean, all the mom and pop shops that used to be around here, they dried up because everybody just went to GameStop. You don't give them money, you don't support those institutions, they're going to disappear. And then we have GameStops everywhere. We actually had at one point where there were, it's not the case anymore, there were 2 GameStops. It was like a Starbucks situation. They were like 2 blocks away from each other. And people are like, why is this a thing? Why would you have 2 GameStops that close to each other? That doesn't make any sense.
I had that too.
Yeah. No, but eventually they ran out of money and they got rid of one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I think also we like another type of strategy that they've developed over time is expansion passes or expansion packs or DLC packs, whatever you want to call them. They're huge because it's kind of like taking a game, and I mean, again, some people take issue with this. It's like because they think, oh, maybe they're cutting content from what was supposed to be in the game. But on the flip side, it's a smart business move because you have, let's take this game by itself, sell it for $60, see how it does. If it does well, we can also extend that. We can make an expansion pass. We can make an expansion pack. And then there's like, this is $15, this is 20, 25. And it's like you get more of the game. If you already enjoyed it, you could go with that. As opposed to them putting, what would be $100 worth of stuff into a game and then it doesn't do so well.
And again, it's optional. Like if you just want to play a wee bit, that's it, and move on.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for that extra. Like, honestly, if they wanted to they could release Final Fantasy VII Remake in like 10 parts, but put like 3 chapters per part. I mean, they could have done that and just expanded a little bit more, like, and to make more money. And like people will be like, "Oh, it's this, that." But the point being, like, some companies do that, right. And that's the sad part. Like, that's where it comes into play. Where like the companies that actually do the bad things, like it's like no. And the fact that like now governments like or it's like for loot boxes are stepping in, like for how it is with Overwatch, the game you hate, Apex packs. I mean, the government's starting to step in saying it's gambling. Like,
it really is.
It is, but at the same point, like, you don't need that item to play the game. Like,
Yeah, see, that's the dumber part. It's just I'm telling you, man.
I don't get it.
I don't either. That's why I exclusively weeb here. But you know what's crazy? I just noticed from when you guys were talking is basically what we're getting to is that they're increasing their demographic. People who are fans will buy the game day one with the season pass. Some people will just buy the game. And if you guys notice, games seem to go on sale literally a month right after. They like that, and that helps because I noticed that Final Fantasy 15
didn't make it. Have you met Nintendo and their sites and their games?
There's a reason I don't ever talk about Nintendo. Let's be honest. No one talks about Nintendo but Nintendo people. No offense to anybody here who actually does play. Like, I like it, but just let's be honest. Like,
why is Pokken Tournament still $60 on their Nintendo store?
See, Nintendo's just anti-consumer. We'll just leave it at that. Seriously. But
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, I like Nintendo. I like their games. I'm really satisfied with the Switch, all in all. But I mean, there's so many things about their company that they're just like backwards. They are in a previous era and they refuse to come out of that. One of those things is sales. If they would just put more games on sale, they would even stand to make more money out of that. But
they would.
I got an anecdote. So over on my stream, I did a Wii U marathon where I played a bunch of Wii U games because that was a console. Again, I bought it late. I bought a bunch of games for it and I never really got around to it. So I wanted to use the stream as an opportunity to play all them. I was gonna do an extra game for that marathon. It was gonna be Star Fox Zero, it's called, because I like Star Fox.
The 64 one.
Star Fox Assault was awesome. Some of the other Star Fox games are really cool, but that game, which is on the Wii U, which came out in about 2015, something around that, still full price, has not changed. And I was like, oh, maybe I can't go to the store and get it used because there's all this shit going on outside. So let me see about a digital. Maybe they'll have it at a decent sale. Now, full price on the Wii U stores. Like, that's... I mean, at this point, there should be no games for $60 on the Wii U eShop.
No. But that's how it is with Nintendo products. Is like, what? My son was asking for Pokken Tournament. I'm like, no, kiddo. If I know Nintendo, that's still $60. So no. And he looked. He's like, "You were right, Daddy."
That sucks.
I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, like, and then I've also been getting this weird thing where, like, I bought a bunch of games off the eShop, and then my bank gave me like a foreign transaction fee for each of them. I don't get them with any other service. I don't get them with PlayStation or Steam or anything like that. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with that financial transaction, but I have to pay extra to buy from the eShop. So it's like,
yeah, their servers are in Japan.
Wait, I got an idea. Yeah. Amazon eShop gift card.
Yeah,
use code.
I realized that after like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Like, why am I getting charged an extra $10 here? What the fuck?
I'm not paying New York tax plus this additional bullshit. I'm gonna go find some.
Wait, question. What's your tax over there for New York?
Tax is like 8%.
That's lower than us.
8 and change. Is it? I'll Google it.
We're up, what, 10.5 sales tax? Yeah.
And that's even new because for you guys who don't know, here in the Chicago area, our tax for a lot of stuff was 7%, and then they raised it to 10% for anything entertainment related, so concert tickets, gaming, and even online. Like PSN literally sent me an email saying, "Oh, any taxes? It's not because of us. Your garbage city's being a prick."
Yeah. Yep. I remember that. That pissed me off too. But no, it's actually 8.87% here, and I'm pissed because 0.3 of it goes to 0.4 of it goes to our metropolitan commuter transportation system, which is garbage.
Right? Only 0.4?
They're not using that 0.4% to make anything better. I'll tell you that.
It's not enough, man.
No, a masher. Whatever. Mash. I got it. I said mashers. I made nanners and mash. My bad. But I was streaming by his stream, and I was like, I love the Wii U, but like, I'm not gonna buy it day one, and they never lowered. And that's the funny thing. Like, Nintendo almost shoots some of the foot. Like, some people, like, let's be real, like some grandma or something, or stop. Oh, here you can buy Pokken Tournament $10. They don't know what it's worth. They don't care. And you'll buy it used, and years later when it's not relevant anymore. But I don't care. I'll go and play a game, because I'm like, right now I'm even considering buying 6 DSs, because back in the day, do I really look like I could buy 6 Nintendo DSs? Nah, bro.
Yeah, I ended up I didn't get my Wii U officially from like a store or online or anything like that. I got it from some dude on like one of those kind of sell your stuff app. He sold it with a bunch of games plus a controller, all that stuff. So, I'm like, I had to go through that method just to get like a decently priced Wii U. So there.
Right. So like Nintendo, like Mash said, they're not gaining. They would gain more money if they would just do sales, and I completely agree. I would own a Switch right now. Besides it, I kind of hate the Switch. If it was just cheaper, that's my biggest complaint.
Yeah,
I'd rather buy a second PS4. Why would I buy a Switch?
Thank you for the follow, guys, and the host.
What's up?
I was telling them thank you.
Oh, okay.
You guys can't hear the notifications. I'm just like, what's going on?
Nintendo does do sales. There was like a week or two ago when the eShop had like hundreds of games on sale. But the problem is that a lot of that is not really like it's not their heavy hitters. It's the big titles just don't go on sale. The consoles don't go on sale. The peripherals, which are already really expensive, don't go on sale at like a decent price. So yeah, I mean, I would love to get Animal Crossing. I can't afford it. I'd love to get Trials of Mana just came out. It looks really good. It looks like Yeast, which I can't play yet. So I would love to get Trials of Mana, but
did you play the demo?
That one just came out, but it's not going to be on sale anytime soon. So
did you play the demo for Trials of Mana?
Yeah, I played the demo.
Okay. That was very interesting. He's censoring himself. He must be taking his shirt off.
No.
Can't do that.
I know, right? Thank you, Snapple Pants, for that follow.
Yeah, it's just my Evo Japan proof that I went there.
No one asked. I'm just kidding.
But no,
I got a bunch of passes. I'll go get them.
I have
But yeah, Max, thank you so much for bringing up Nintendo. That came in so smoothly.
Yeah, that did. Yeah. Nintendo does make like some dumb freaking like
this thing right here is living proof of this whole Nintendo thing. I didn't want to get it because it was just too damn expensive. So what ended up happening was I made an ultimatum. I'm like, look, I'm a huge No More Heroes fan. I love that game. The first game is great. The second game is great. When they announce 3 and it's out, I will buy a Nintendo Switch. And then they kind of like, they're taking their time with it. So finally, my friend BioZ Venom had to go out and he got this for me. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have a Switch just yet. Because they don't want to bring it down from 300. 300, no games. You get one controller. There's a Joy-Con. The Joy-Cons drift and all that shit.
And they're expensive.
Dude, and you know what's even crazier? Like half the time I'm like, wait, why would I do all this? I could just emulate because the consoles are so underpowered. Any PC can run it. That's a whole nother can of worms. Honestly, emulation is just like, why would I play on a Wii when I could play Tatsunoko versus Capcom with my PS4 control in 4K?
Right? Like shit.
And I do.
Fun.
I mean, you have to admit, Nintendo has been really on top of the concepts of new consoles because that console, actually, the concept's great. The technology is not fine-tuned yet, but the concept is phenomenal. Now, the only thing they need to do is figure out a way to put something on like your glasses like you're wearing and you're in virtual reality. That's the only thing they need to figure out, and then they'll be good. They'll be golden. And then your parents can walk in and be like, "What you doing, kiddo?" I'm reading. Oh, okay. But yet you're in virtual reality land.
Yeah, we got a couple years for that. Because the other thing is, even if we do have it, do we have, I talk about this, why PC isn't as popular. It's like, sure, there's a GTX 1060. It destroys my PS4 Pro. But is it viable for all of us to just go buy a graphics card that costs the price of a PS4? Nah. No. You'd rather buy a PS4.
I mean, I got a 1660 in this thing. I don't even use it for PC gaming.
See, that's the other thing too. So it's not so much is it available? Is it marketly available? Mm-hmm. That's a very important question.
I have a 2K monitor and I'm using it in fucking 1080 because 2K everything's too tiny. Right. When I'm gaming, I have it in 2K and nice. But on regular, I gotta set it to 1080 so I don't gotta go like this, 2 inches from the screen to read anything.
What do you got? One monitor going?
No, I have 2. So I finally figured out how to set up streams for like a dual monitor setup. So I'm good on that now. But yeah, I mean, I was playing Condemned yesterday, and it automatically gave me 640 or something like that. and then I could bump it all the way up to even 2K, and it looked great. It's a 360 game, you know.
Yeah, Condemned, shout outs. That's a great horror game, top tier.
Yeah, it was recommended by our buddy Kugla GK. He used my redemption tier for a game request, and he put in Condemn.
Nice.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Dude, fun. You should play the second one, man. That one's amazing. This is
we'll see. We'll see
later, obviously, whenever you want. But the last thing I want to bring up about Nintendo is how anti-consumer they are, which is why I like in Japan they're actually the Apple of like consoles. Like they are the worst. Like they actually made a law. It's illegal. Like genuinely, this is actually illegal here, especially here in the US. They made it that it's illegal to have like a rental. Like you remember Raid Gaming, right? Harps.
Yes.
So basically, you'd go there, you pay a service, right? You sit there and you pay like $20 an hour or something, right? That's an example. And they already bought the consoles. They are free to do with them what they want. They want to mod them, they can. As long as they're not copying games and selling them, everything they do with that hardware and software is legal. Nintendo made it where you cannot just even loan it. You can't let people play it. You can't even mod. Yeah. They're trying to make it where you can't mod your consoles. Thank goodness Japan's like, no, because that would actually violate other laws, and Japan's very technology eccentric. So luckily for us, Japan's like, all right, Nintendo, calm down. We'll let you have one, but not this one. But I still think that's BS, honestly. Like Nintendo, like that's why I kind of strictly don't want to give them money. Like it's purely from a standpoint that I'm like, look, Nintendo, until you change your ways, I'm just not giving you money. Like this is anti-consumer. I'm not going to give you money to keep, just. Like, it's just not good. In the end, it's not good. And that's my biggest harp. Ignore that I don't like the Switch or games are 60. Like, no, everything you're doing is not for the consumer. In the long run, it hurts you, and it shows. That's another reason why these games don't go lower is because they know no one's going to buy it. You sit here, do you see kids or a grown man, oh, I want to go play Mario. Again, no hate on Mario. I like Mario. But look at half the people around you. Are they hyped for Mario? No. They're hyped for Doom, Call of Duty, or something. Their flavor of rated M game. I'm sorry, it's just they're self-aware. They are self-aware to a degree. I just think they just gotta calm it down a bit.
Yes. And we just got a sub. Thank you, Autocorrect Primer, for that sub. That tier 1 coming in. You're awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Shout out to this, mate.
And you're absolutely like true. Like Nintendo just, man, how do we get on Nintendo so hardcore? Shit.
It's money. It's simple as that. Like money talks. This is why why do you think I think games are starting to eat? Because here, I'll be honest, finally American games are starting to step up a little bit, but I think it's too weak. And here's the thing. If someone who plays, you see my stacks of games, right? I'll go buy an American game if it's not garbage. But I'm so firm on my stance. I thought you were
boycotting Western Coast.
No, I have, dude. Modern Warfare is the only game I bought at all. After that, everything's Japanese, dude. All of it.
You won't play with me anymore.
Hey, man, it's because I'm busy.
I know.
But
I want to play. I want to play devil's advocate though for Nintendo. Yeah, sure. I mean, just a little bit. Not to say that like I'm honestly completely supporting them or anything like that.
No.
But it's you do see this with a lot of other companies, and this is actually I've taken that similar approach kind of with PlayStation. I haven't stopped giving them money or anything like that, but I kind of just look at them and just frown sometimes because all the stuff about. Oh, nobody wants backwards compatibility. People don't want that, so we're not gonna bother to put it on the new consoles. Shit like that just pisses me off. Or crossplay, crossplay, absolutely. All that stuff
or censoring.
They all do it.
True.
Nintendo is just I guess more popular in Japan or like bigger in Japan.
They changed their mind. They used to be the biggest ones, but then they made a turnaround, which is weird.
They're in the Apple position, and it's the same reason I don't like Apple is because it's a company that got so bloated that the technology isn't worth it anymore. It's just like a thing, Oh, I gotta go get a new phone. Let me go get the Apple phone because I gotta have an Apple phone. Everybody's gotta have an Apple phone. Whereas like, no, I mean, show me why the phone is good. Show me why it's better than anything else. Can you take the battery out? No. Can you do like mod stuff with it? No. You can't do anything with the. Some basic
Samsungs, you can't take the new phones. You can't take the battery out on the newer ones. But point being, like with Apple, with that even said, oh my god, screw Apple, fuck that. Now their technology, their phones are solid and good. Like not phones with their iPad. My son still has his iPad. We forgot his password, but it still works. We had it since the iPad Mini was fresh.
I got a question though. I don't know if either of you have like regularly bought iPhones or anything like that.
Hell no.
When was the last time there was like a legitimately great step forward in terms of like between one iPhone and the next generation of iPhone? Where it's like, whoa, they like really changed the game with this new iPhone that they came out.
The 3GS, that one was the biggest leap. After that, it was just no. And
they realized they put extra technology into something they didn't need to, and the same amount of people probably bought that one. So why are they going to put even more extra technology in something when the Sims are going to go out there and just buy the newest one? Oh, it has 1 pixel more now. Go ahead and go buy this.
And to say what you're both saying, like he's saying, like dude, what you're saying, Mash, is music to my ears. Apple, that's literally Apple to a T. And he even said, "Oh, the iPod's good and everything." The thing is, they're not even that good anymore. Like genuinely, like they used to be. Like, oh, this is a product. It's high price, but I know it's gonna work in the long run. And they just started. They, like you said, oh, they know they're gonna buy it. Let's skip out on features. Let's rip them off. Like here, let me tell you, there's a guy. You guys check him out on YouTube, Louis Rossman. He literally breaks down Apple devices, and he himself says, "Me as a professional, I would never use an Apple device." Like Mash, all of us have PCs. Are we using Apples? Hell no, no. But long story short, their most prized Apple machine is not as strong as my PC. It cost not 1,000. I think it was my bad. $2,500. It's not as strong as my $1,000 PC, and it has a 100% failure rate. 100%.
You know what's crazy though, and this almost made me get an Apple computer like maybe 10 years ago or something like that. But a lot of people that are in the graphic development industry, like graphical artists and like animators and all that stuff, they all go toward everybody goes towards Apple because they feel like those computers are better for graphic design, specifically graphic design, editing, filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. And to the point that like I used to work in a place where you would have like all these different graphical companies. They all have Macs. Everybody has a Mac over there. The only ones that didn't have Macs were the ones that aren't like graphical companies, any kind of like animators and editors and stuff.
He's right, actually. Yeah, he's definitely right about that.
So it's like thing I've noticed
they built it into these people, but yeah, go for it.
The one thing about Apple products is that they don't crash and they're not as buggy, yet they will just randomly break down.
It's because it's the engineering, man. Like when you look at it,
they're engineered very well, but like
no, even then, like I said, not anymore. They're not.
Yeah,
like,
then they were. Right. Because like, come on, I have the first iPad Mini. I would still have my first iPad Mini if I didn't fucking wash it in the washing machine.
But here's the thing. So
I'm serious. That's what happened to it. I would still have it.
But aside, there was a video you guys will see. Just put in Apple's new computer, and they break down how that computer is overpriced. And let's break down to why. Long run, they're just not good machines. Like they really aren't. We all know how a PC is. When there's a PC, even all of these, even consoles, you guys know, you guys have PCs, right? When you have something known as a heatsink that's on your CPU, it produces heat, right? And what do we need to blow out that heat? Fans. I'm right? So far with me. Apple
seems good.
Right. Okay. Apple. Okay. You guys are gonna. I'm serious, dude. He couldn't believe it. So I'll show you with my hands. This is where your CPU's. This is where the fan is, right? And it blows it because it's right next to it. Because if you guys don't know, air is a terrible conductor of heat. So you have to have the metal on metal contact. They're not counting thermal paste. Apple decided, let's put the CPU here, the fan over here. Someone explain to me how the heat is going to travel from here to there. I'd like to know what magic wizardry they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Even proper aerodynamics, it still wouldn't be that good.
No, like you need a heatsink. Like literally, this is so for just basically saying like another way to explain it for you guys in case you don't know. Imagine having to stand on something, but then you take out the chair from underneath them. If they're standing on a chair, they're just floating on air. That's basically what they're doing. They're expecting magical air to do something. Like, no, I'm showing you, Apple are idiots and they're taking your money. Anyone listening, do not sit here and think that you know better. Me, him, we know about PCs. I just explained to you. I'd like to see you stand on air when you're trying to get something. Do not try to explain. I'm only saying because some of their fanboys are just honestly like annoying. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not, and we're not even saying like we're like they had good machines. We're not saying they didn't. Just right now, they're overpriced. They're not even as strong as $1,000 PC you can make at home, and they don't even work.
Right?
They
Right.
don't even work.
They should build in like a little vent so it connects the CPU to the fan, so it's like an exhaust, you know?
See, that would have worked better. But
Yeah,
no.
hire me. I got the solutions for.
Yeah, but that's simple common sense. But have you noticed most corporations really don't follow common sense, and they add in all these extra like bureaucratic, yeah,
yeah, you're right.
freaking like extra stuff for no reason. Like, why am I gonna have to do this when I could just do that? And then you show them, like, no, you got to do this, do this. It's like the new way of public school teaching with what was that math thing, core something.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, what? Anyway, well, let's
track back to that.
Yeah, let's track back and let's try to wrap this up. It's been about an hour. It's been an hour 2 minutes. We've been live, if not more.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was good.
So we discussed today that gaming and what we've been playing, and then we ventured into cost of games and then Nintendo and how stingy they are, and
GGPO. I covered GGPO.
Yeah, GGPO. Like, we covered a good amount of things, and I think I don't even know how to wrap this up because we weren't really on one track. We went from one track, it was like and then
but it went smoothly though, oddly enough.
Yeah.
And just to make sure, Nintendo, because it went from Nintendo to Apple, and it shows you that they're similar, and we talk so much smack about Apple, but Nintendo's not that bad. Nintendo's not that bad.
No, they're not bad. It's just
I
got a Switch right here. I love my Nintendo Switch. It's just again, it's they just have some backwards practices, and if all they did was just learn like what FinalHarps was just saying, was all they have to do is like learn and use common sense. Look at what Sony is doing. Sony's always putting stuff on sale. Look at what Steam practically invented sales, digital sales. And they're making money. And they're making money off of it. Put your games on sale, Nintendo. It's going to do you a lot of good, and people are going to love you for it.
Right. Thank you. It's fun. You know,
I
you're
feel
right.
like I just cut a promo for Nintendo or something.
No.
You know, real quick. Nintendo also is real anal about using their properties even in YouTube videos.
Anti-consumer. That's
Yes.
anti-consumerism.
They went back on that recently, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one, but they still are. Yeah. But on that note, I think we had a really good conversation. I think we should continue this next week and then find something else to talk about because this one could keep going for days.
True.
Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for the host, everyone. Mashed, the Stampede.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. Kugla, Joypad, Baltastic. And thank you, Baltastic, also for the host and follow. And then Snapple Pants for the follow. And then Autocorrect Primer for tier 1 sub. Awesome. I could not read that for some reason. My brain is not working.
Yeah, so again, sorry if we missed any of your guys' comments. We tried responding to them as much as we can.
Yeah. It was a good time, and thank you all. I hope we all can continue this next week. And I'm FinalHarps. Bye. This person directly to my left is that I'm okay.
Greatest gamer. It's greatest gamer.
Farther to the left.
Mash Stampede, everybody.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, what? Okay.
No,
bye.
Yeah.